Hello, Oriri Collective Support. How may I assist you today? Apologies, but all sapient agents are currently working towards the Collective's betterment. I hope this arcane intelligence can assist you today. Now... Hello, Oriri Collective Support. How may I assist your sending today? I see. To better optimize your golem construct, this one suggests using a mithril alloy as an outer casing. However, any additional modifications comes with fees. Have a resplendent day. Hello, Oriri Collective Support. How may I assist you today? A surveyor unit? That is not possible. All surveyor units have been decommissioned. Well, it sounds like the situation is resolved. Now, to better assist with our reclamation process, do tell me where I can find this malfunctioning unit. Destination Hava confirmed. Have a resplendent day.
Luce, I think we're going to start with you. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's late at night. You are only a few doors down from the house where you've spent most of your life with your mother. At the table, there's a game set between a kind old woman who cares about you very much and a strange figure who's accosted you for the entire day. In each of their hands are 3 playing cards, and on the kitchen table in front of them are piles of chips, gold and silver coins, and a few pieces of Auntie Molt's jewelry. The first thing that you notice about this is that the man's pile is so much higher than hers, almost impossibly so. You didn't think that she had this much gold on her. You didn't think she had this many chips. As they usher you over to sit with them, you think this may be the last hand Auntie Molt can go without losing everything.
What? What is... Who are you?
That is the wrong question. And I promise you, it will be answered in time along with the right one. But I would prefer, very strongly, if we can give this amazing woman a good game.
And he gestures to an empty an empty chair.
Can Luce make an insight check with disadvantage because he mentioned the grandma?
Yeah, absolutely. Insight check with disadvantage.
Holy schmoly, I'm very good at that. I did. Woo! 13.
13. There is no malice in this person's voice. There is no real expectation, even. There is just a very patient and polite request. What this person is doing here is not harmful. They would still like you to be a part of it with your own consent.
I think Luce is just going to, he looks at him and then looks over at, Granny. Does she seem very happy? Like she's having a good time?
She looks like she's having a pretty good time. Actually, can you give me an insight check for Auntie Molt? And I'm going to say you can do so with advantage because you know her so well.
This is for you, Granny Auntie. 26. What the fuck? I gotta start doing insight more. Yeah.
26. Perfect. She is having a good time, although she is starting to look a little bit flustered in the way that she does when she has a bad hand, in the way that she does when she's had a number of bad hands in a row. one of the reasons that you've heard from other people in town when it comes to Auntie Molt and cards is that the reason she keeps losing at poker is not because she is unlucky. It's because she has such obvious tells, and so many of them are on display right now.
Her poker face is really bad. Okay.
It is. But that is not me saying that she is not having a good time or does not want you there. In fact, the moment that she saw you, her face lit up a bit.
I think at that Granny Auntie Molt expression, he looks at the man. All right. And he'll sit down very awkwardly. And then he'll look to Granny Molt. I am here for our bet. And I promised you that I would play. And he just kind of like nervously looks over at the man again.
He nods ever so slightly. Auntie Molt takes your hand and says, I'm so excited to whoop your butt tonight.
Okay. Well, let's get to playing, I guess.
The Dark Stranger takes a number of his coins and just places them onto your side of the table, giving you a bit more of what you're able to do, so you're able to actually be dealt it. The coins are relatively normal. You've seen these played a million times before. They seem to be Auntie Molt's, not his. And he also deals you in. I would like you to roll a d20 for me.
Okay.
To determine how good your hand is.
I would like to say, I'm still going to do the roll because gambling. But Luce had the whole intention of playing badly, so that way she could have a very great time. But now the man is here. That has completely fucking changed. So I'm gonna make this roll. And you said what again, sorry?
So I just need you to roll a straight d20. This is going to be essentially a luck check to determine how good your cards are.
Okay.
And from there, I think we're going to end up doing performance checks and deception checks to determine how well you're able to hide what your cards actually are moving forward.
17 on 20 roll. Yes.
All right. Yeah, 17. You look down at the cards in your hand, and you have a surprisingly good hand. I don't know enough about poker to really describe how good your hand is, or like what it is, but it's pretty damn good. So now I'm gonna roll for Auntie Molt and for the man. Okay, it was Auntie Molt, and that is the man. First, Auntie Molt takes about half of all the coins that she has left and just sort of like pushes it into the center. That's what I bet. Can either of you match it?
Luce would just kind of look all in. Here we go. And he just pushes all his coins in.
The man looks at you and then at Auntie Molt, pushes his entire large pile.
All in, sir.
Auntie Molt then looks and says, I'm so sorry. I don't believe I have enough to keep that. I may have to fold. Her face looks a little bit crestfallen, knowing that she's about to lose, until the man says,
There's more that I value than gold. What I ask for is a story if this hand is lost. I can ask one of you too, if that is amenable.
And he looks at you, Luce.
Luce, just kind of a blinkless stare at the man, because he has been asked that before, and the last time he was asked that, it didn't go well. But he feels different about this situation, and he just doesn't say anything. He just nods his head, indicating yes.
Then I believe it is time to show our hands.
He puts down all of his cards, and it is 4 kings.
Oh, shit.
Auntie Molt looks down at her hands and puts down that she has 2 pairs. I can tell you that Auntie Molt rolled a natural 4,
Oh.
and that the man rolled a natural 19.
Huh. Fucking. Luce will then just kind of take a deep breath and then puts his cards down.
The man looks at you, Luce, and says,
I will ask for that story in time, but now is not that time, my friend. However, Zelda, I believe it is time for you to tell your story.
and as she looks at the 2 of you, there is a half moment of extreme frustration at having such a wonderful game of cards end so early. And then just sort of an understanding that this is, even if it is not a moment to be understood in the way that she wants to, it is a moment to be understood in a way that she may need to. And she begins to tell a story. She tells a story of the first time that she traveled to the town that you are all in, how it was, strangely enough, for the Plain Crab Festival that's happening right now. And there was a very similar play that was going on like there was today, that at that show, she ended up sitting down next to a boy that she had never seen before, who came from out of town just like she did. Over the course of the day, they shared a good many meals together, walked on the beach, and by the end of the day, they were engaged to be married. They decided to settle down in that town. It finally gets to near the end of the story, and she goes, and the Plain Crab Festival has always been something precious to me. It was where I met my husband and my daughter. It's my daughter. She's visiting me next week. I won't be here to greet her, will I?
No, my dear. I am so sorry, but you will not. You will be found tomorrow morning by a neighbor who wishes to come and visit you. Your daughter will arrive 3 days early and will light the pyre as you did for your parents. She will take residence in your home, and your affairs will be put in order. She will have a daughter who she will name after you. The songbirds that you sing to every Sunday will teach their songs to every songbird in the forest, and your voice will join the repertoire forevermore. She will take over your business and your story and your song. You will not be here when she arrives, but I assure you, my love, you will be here every moment after.
She has tears in her eyes as she takes his hand. And Luce, I think this is the first time that you notice this, but there's a hairpin that keeps the bun that she always wears. Can you make me a religion check, please?
19.
19. As she was telling this story, you notice that she has a bit of a backdrop upon her. And at this moment you notice there's a light coming off of a pin that you know was given to her by her husband, and that she wears every single day. You don't know this, but earlier today one of your new friends had a thought about the color of the soul. You know this now, Luce. It's the color of the light coming off of its hairpin. The man holds one of her cheeks in his palm as softly and comforting as he can. In the other hand, he gently takes the hairpin as he opens his coat, where you can see that there are a number of long silver chains, a chatelaine, where each chain is attached to a different object, each glowing the same color. He clasps the hairpin to the end of one chain, and as she serenely looks at the two of you, she says, I think this is the best game that I've ever played. She walks over to you, her hair and her spirit more free than you have ever seen her. She kisses your forehead and holds your hand as she says, Thank you for keeping your promise. I baked you some cookies. They're over on the counter. Try and share them, won't you? I think that would make me happy. She lets go of your hand, and she walks upstairs by herself. And you know that she's not going to walk back down.
At this point, Lucis is on the verge of tears. After watching Grandma Molt leave upstairs, he's just kind of frozen in his chair, stiff, and he doesn't even look at the man, just still staring at the stairs. What are you?
Now that is the right question. What I am is the twilight of life and death. I am an extension of Corrosa, reaching out to touch and to guide souls as they pass on. I am but a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of her. Not an arm, or a hand, or a finger, a knuckle. My enemies call me Nail.
I'm sorry. I do appreciate what you have done here, ushering Auntie Molt, and you did it very kindly. But I am not a chosen of Corrosa, so I think you might have gotten the wrong one.
I am most certain, Lucian, that you are a chosen of my mother. It happened long ago, forged in blood upon a different sea.
Right. Okay. And at that point, Luce will stand up, and now he will kind of now tears are flowing down his face, and his glasses are starting to heat up from, fog up from the tears. And he takes off his glasses and he rubs them a bit and he puts them back on. Mr. Nail?
If that is what you wish to call me.
I am going to leave. This is just... I'm sorry. And then he will turn and start to walk out the house.
Lucian, before you go, I do come with a message.
He'll stop walking, because no one has used his full name since his mom, and he'll turn.
I do not relish in death. My mother is a patient one. We ask for your assistance in delaying the end of everyone in this town. I do not know what is going to happen, but I do know that with your intervention, you have the potential to save the lives of every man, woman, and child here in the next 48 hours.
What?
You say that word quite a bit.
Yeah, I am trying to process. So what you are saying is that if I want to, and I want to, help this city, this village that I grew up in all my life, that I have to be a chosen of your mother. That if that's what I'm getting.
My child, you already are.
And he disappears from this place.
Luce is going to turn and leave. And it is dark outside, right?
It is very, very dark outside. Yeah, the sun has absolutely set over the sea, and you notice that there are still a couple of lights that are on, but you do notice something small. Can you make me a history check, please?
History. Oh boy, 6.
Something has felt off this entire day. You thought that it was this man. You thought it was Mr. Nail. That feeling hasn't gone away. That there's something else that is going on here. You just can't place what.
Okay. And as he's like looking around, he's going to make his way to the closest temple, which shouldn't be far because his house was not far from it either. And he won't go in. He'll just kneel, probably in the garden area, and pray, but not to anybody particular. Just pray, and whoever answers him. But he's hoping that it's Zephyr, and he will say, please, I hope that Auntie Molt will be honored and will be shown the best afterlife. And if she is reincarnated, hopefully she is reincarnated into an amazing poker player with better facial expressions. And he'll start crying at that point again. I hope that I am the one, along with people that I've met, that saves this city, and we can live to tell the tale. And then he'll bow so low that his head touches the grass, and he just waits for an answer.
Can you make me a religion check with advantage, please?
14.
The wind is not warm on your back, but off in the distance, you hear a songbird playing a familiar tune.
He'll sit up, uses his staff to help him up. I am. And I did forget to say he did take a few cookies with him, like she asked,
Sure
but
thing.
he didn't eat any of them. And he goes, I think my new friends will enjoy this. It's and he'll stand up and take that like walk at night where you just have to get your emotions out, but walking is the only thing you can do to do it to help it. And he will walk through the city back to where his new friends are.
All right. Okay, the horror movie's over, guys. What are the three of you
Sad
doing?
horror movie.
Secretly sobbing for no reason.
Having a nice, happy time where none of this is happening.
I don't know, Austin. What did we do? Did anything get to going while we were about? Because if not, I've probably just been rambling.
Last time we had just come to the realization about the government being somehow behind whatever happened to Surv was the vibes we got, right?
Yeah, the Orior Collective.
The Oriri Collective. You shone the light on the ticket and the Oriri Collective, the ticket to the festival specifically. You shone the light on that ticket, and that was able to reveal, like, not only is this light able to assist in sort of like the discovery of things that are being hidden from view, it also showed you that this event and this town, along with Surv, are most likely connected to the Oriri Collective.
The Fractal King?
The Fractal King, yeah. Correct?
Yeah.
Would Vox be doing anything with that information?
I think after this kind of revelation, Vox does a few things. First, they make sure everything's settled. Try to do the best to put on as much poker face as they can handle. They're gonna set Surv's head aside, because it seems like they're gonna need to reevaluate that problem from a different direction. But put everything away and has just like sitting between the two of you. I might have somebody who could shed some light on the goings on around town, because I'll be honest, I don't go into town much outside of to do my general handyman work. Most of my time is spent here at the scrapyard. but I know a few folks who are, what would you say, criminally inclined that might know if there's any moving and shaking going around.
Did you know that criminals are some of the most interesting people out there? They have lots and lots of interesting stories.
Usually because people put them in those situations.
Well, I can believe that, but I will say that you may be slightly unimpressed with this one.
Oh, is he boring? Tax evasion? That's boring.
Incompetent and green. Now, but we start with
Okay.
that. Vox is going to go outside, and I've rigged up, if you'll allow this as a potential messaging thing along the scrapyard, Austin. Vox is rigged up, and you see there's a little like collection of what looks to be just bits of scrap built over of the side, like a few yards away from the station. Pulls that down, and you see like a little makeshift catapult on a little gear, so I can tilt it. He's probably... Make a slight readjustment. There's a large metal paint can up on one side. I'll go over, ring it, and just click it, fire off, and hit a post off to one side that looks like it has been covered with various sheets of metal to cover up debris and like the splattering of paint. Basically just a marker that is obvious and direct to anyone who is trying to avoid the spotlights and any of like the other scavengers or scrappers, because I'm trying to get Ollivander's attention if he is in the scrapyard tonight.
I love that. I'm gonna make a luck check. I also need you to make I'm gonna say a ranged spell attack roll for this.
That I can do.
Pastiche has immediately gotten up and has just followed Vox to whatever they are doing, and is like, oh, so what exactly does this do?
I think Vox will actually go into a pretty sensible explanation of generally that to work with some of my less employed friends, sometimes they throw me a little cash on the side if they need to scrap from certain parts of the scrapyard. So I have this geared up to fire off red paint if they're about to get caught, green paint if it's safe to come visit and we can have a parlay, and yellow, which means none of you should be in the scrapyard and I'm coming for you because I'm actually working tonight.
What color are we doing?
But it does have a chance to green. I want to talk to my boy. And then let me make that
Yellow
roll.
sounds fun.
Oh, not great, Austin. That's old. Oh, never mind. That's a 9. So 9 plus 5.
14.
14. Thank you.
This catapult just immediately shoots out and suddenly explodes in this massive green paint. I need you to make me a perception check real quick.
Oh, please tell me I hit him. Oh, perception. Oh, 13.
Pastiche and Liv, you can also make the perception check if you would like.
Okay.
No, thank you. She's very distracted. She's just eating whatever food that has remained on the table while these two go off wherever.
5.
Okay, so none of you hear this. And Liv, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw because you've never eaten this much food in your life, which is deadly, potentially.
Oh, the consequences of actions.
I'm a scientist in real life. I need to keep this metabolically realistic in a world of like fear bulgs and plasmoids and giant robots.
We can't have magical metabolism in which you can eat whatever the hell you want. It's a 14.
The stomach only stretches so far.
You haven't unlocked your paladin saving
Okay,
throws yet.
14, you're doing relatively okay. I think you don't recognize the feeling of being full. I think that's what's happening.
This is incredible.
Yeah, but like you are right now, you went from like, I am going to die this morning to just immediately just in a house with like a bed and heating and 4 walls and a lot of like so much food, and you're really, really confused, but you're really happy about it. Like you're in your happy place. You do not care if you are feeling nauseous right now.
I mean, things seem to be happening now, so I guess Liv will just take whatever food can be put into pockets, inconspicuously. They can't see me stealing.
Absolutely. I think it's like you put like a tortilla in between like your chest and your breastplate at one point.
As many as I can fit. 4 in a row.
Yeah, next time you get hit with a fire damage, I'm gonna roll a d20 to see if you make a quesadilla.
Or chips.
Absolutely. We will get back to you in a second. But Vox and Pastiche, the two of you are outside. You hear just one person walking over and just going, "Motherfucker, I can't believe I got... I know this keeps happening. I keep standing so close to that damn post, but it's the only way that I can see. I don't have very good vision. He knows that I don't have very good vision. So..."
Oh, you hit him?
And, yeah...
You hit him.
You see
Vox is crying, laughing.
You see a dragonborn who's currently like walking out of the scrapyard. He has like a small cart behind him that seems to be towing a large number of like metal bits and magical accoutrement of like whatever this individual was able to possibly find. You also don't necessarily know what color this Dragonborn is, because although they appear to be a green Dragonborn, they're also completely covered in green paint. And this is Ollivander Amaxi, better known as Vox's friend, Ollie.
Ollie, I told you how many goddamn times to not be so close to the goddamn post, well, that the whole point is for it to be selective and secretive.
And how many times do I have to tell you that you need to stop recalibrating that thing over and over and over again? This is the third time that you've hit me with this kind of thing.
It needs to be... It's got issues. It needs to be
adjusted. I was 50 yards away from this thing last time, and I was yellow for a week.
Aside from the fact I should be asking what you're even doing here tonight, I do actually need your help. So if you would be willing to come back to the station, we got some problems I'd like you to assist me with.
Absolutely, but you are absolutely going to hate this next part, because this is what I came over here to do. And Ollie gives you the biggest hug, covering you.
If you touch me, Ollie, I swear to God.
And you just get covered in green paints, along with your friend.
Like, arms fully up, like against over. I'm gonna God.
Well, I came over here to check on you because I love you so much, and this is now the consequences of your actions.
I disagree. This still feels like consequence. I warned you enough times. I'm the only one who has any goddamn sense here. Anyway, hold up. I'm being rude.
Absolutely. Who are the new guys?
Yeah, the other ones inside. Pastiche. Meet Ollie, the worst thief in the scrapyard I have ever met in my entire life, but does have a somewhat good, reasonable head on his shoulders.
And I'm a damn good friend.
Ollie, this is Pastiche, phenomenal actor, occasionally the Fractal King, and is going to be helping me with some work in the future.
This sounds great.
Nice to meet you.
Howdy, pleasure to meet you.
Yes, you can worship me whenever you want, but I wouldn't do that because that is sacrilege. Correct?
Please don't.
That I do believe is correct.
Okay. Well, should we tell him now, or do you want to tell him when he's inside?
Let's bring him inside.
Okay.
Hold on.
Because I'm having a very, very hard time keeping it in.
What's until we get inside? I need to make sure Liv isn't like biting into the table or something.
Oh, that does sound like something she might do.
Is the table edible?
Like that one Japanese game show.
I've lived off tree bark before. Surely this type of processed wood is the same.
Is it cake?
I rolled a nat 1 to see if the table is edible. I don't know if that's a yes or a no.
Anything's edible.
The table is 100% not edible.
Anything is edible if you try hard enough.
Anything is edible once.
The table is 100% made of scrap metal.
It's heavy and iron.
Yeah. I'll do the same spiel. It's like, Liv, this is Ollie. Ollie, this is Liv. He's gonna, he knows a little bit of what's going on. What would you say? What would you say, Ollie?
What?
Did you kill Surv?
We got a couple problems. Hold up here. And I'm gonna just go over and rapid fire explain to him real quick, because while undressing a little bit and like pulling, I think like in one of the upper cabinets, I'll have like a spare shirt or something. I'm like, I need to not be green immediately. But I'll explain about the festival token. Surv has gone haywire, and give him a look as soon as I say that. But also just to ask if anything is stirring underground. Has anything been happening in the town that I need to know about? Or is security up in weird places? Like, what's happening in town? Because I don't know, and I'm hoping you do. If anyone in the Fast Teacher Live want to also include anything in that. But I feel like covering bases.
Yeah, so we accidentally killed the boss and boss dad, right?
But we weren't the original people to make him crazy.
I'll fix
So it's
him.
not
He's
our
fine.
fault.
It's not our fault that he is dead.
And
No,
you can't
it's
find
not.
us or arrest us.
Neither of those things. I agree with Liv in this.
This may surprise y'all. I'm not in fact, I would say that I'm on the opposite end of that
He's a thief.
normally.
Oh, thank goodness.
That's very good. But also, I do know that thieves like to have big mouths, and big mouths, loose lips, sink ships, or so Josta has told me. And that means that we are entrusting you with our lives.
Oh yeah, you guys are gonna be fine with me. Like,
Insight check.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about having a big mouth, Ollie, would you?
I mean, like, it's pretty large compared to like the rest of my face, but
15.
Ollie seems on the up and up. At the very least, like, the moment that you said, like, you're trusting them with their lives, like, with this kind of thing, they immediately took on an air of almost professionalism, but not even professionalism, more just sort of like there's an understanding that is going on between someone who's asking for someone to keep a secret and someone who professionally keeps secrets. They are 100% believing that they will be able to keep whatever it is that is going on between everyone in this room.
I will say that despite Ollie's whole vibe, Vox is a little more at ease as soon as he kind of steps in, because he does know that he is somewhat competent. He's just also, Vox thinks he's an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you would like to make a promise to me that you will keep this, that would put my mind at ease.
I'll keep a promise. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I came over here to help, and I can keep doing that.
Pastiche's smile looks sincere, but also just a little creepy. You notice that Pastiche's teeth are all sharp, all of them, and they just smile. Yes, it's good, and I will hold you to that promise, Ollie.
All right, sounds good to me. And just gives a wide, toothy grin that are not as sharp as you would expect on a Dragonborn, to someone whose teeth are much sharper than you would expect for a more humanoid-looking individual.
I'm glad that we are on the same page here.
All right, so down to brass tacks. You all wanted to know what was going on in the town. Well, right now, a number of people are, I'm going to be honest, a little bit worried, a little bit scared. There was a giant robot that attacked middle of town.
Skip that part.
Appears that y'all know about that. I was part of the team that tried to just sort of get Surv's body out of the way. It's actually I got the guy's torso, if you want it.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Oh yeah, no problem whatsoever. A lot of people are really angry right now. A lot of people came around from like the overall area trying to go to the festival that got attacked. And on top of that, I mean, like, the plane crabs never even showed up, so everyone's a little bit angry just overall.
Plane crabs didn't show up? That ain't normal.
Nah, that ain't normal at all. Whatever's going on, a lot of people are angry for a lot of reasons.
What was that? Main crabs? Main labs?
Plane crabs. The plane crabs.
Plane crabs.
Yeah, the plane crab festival.
Ah, okay.
Oh, right, we got
From the water plane.
I'm assuming we got a couple of out-of-towners here?
Yeah, these two are new.
Well, let me...
I've been here before, but it's been, some time. I don't know, it could be anything from 100 years to about last week that I've been here before.
Well, welcome back, and welcome for the first time. So, Plane Crab Festival. Once a year, plane crabs are known to migrate from one portal into the plane of water, into our world, across the beach, and then to the other side to a different point of the plane of water. It cuts down their migration pattern by, I'd say, about like 2 or 3 months, basically, just on this singular stretch of beach with these two portals that open up out of nowhere. No one really knows how it happens. No one really knows why.
the only thing that people know is that it happens from sunset to sunrise. And today, it never happened. And I gotta admit, it's a pretty great sight. They glow all these pretty colors, and they're also like a little bit valuable if you're able to, get a sample or two, although you're not really supposed to. They can be a little bit dangerous if you get close.
And you hold an entire festival to watch them? Hunt them? Eat them?
To watch. There is a little bit of a eaten portion of the entire festival. As you can see, there's a lot of like fried food, a lot of seafood, but there isn't really like much crab until like the next day, in which case it becomes like a whole seafood bake. It's pretty great.
So many resources to use. Wow.
So a lot of people are really angry, and we're trying to figure out, well, not me, not we. People above me are trying to figure out what's going on to appease the people below them.
Where does the portal usually open?
The entrance is at one end of the beach, and then the exit is on the other end of the beach. He actually,
Did the portal not open?
Did the portal show up?
Neither of them opened. There were no plane crabs. There were no portals. We don't really know what happened.
Is it the same place every time, or does it change every time?
Oh yeah, it's the same one every time. It's always one stretch of beach, and then that leads into the other stretch of the beach.
You notice any of the Oriri folk poking around, or any other corporate work?
I haven't seen a single one of them. Other than like,
Sure, there should have been some of them.
I mean, like, there's always a couple of them. I mean, like, the Familiars run by them.
The Familiar?
It's a bar.
I went there.
You went
Yeah.
there. What do you think?
It was... I drank a drink, and then I drank another, and it was good.
Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying your time in our little hamlet.
I met a friend. We shared a drink, and then he did not finish his drink, so I finished it for him, and then I got on stage.
Oh, you were one of the actors in the show.
Yes, I was the Fractal King.
Oh, yeah, I said that.
That explains the outfit. I've been so confused why you're wearing that much green.
I usually don't wear a robe. I do like my suits. So...
I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty good look on you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever.
I like him. He's your friend. He's my friend now, too.
I'm more than happy to be friends to anybody. Put her there, and he holds out his hand.
He's not my friend. Don't touch me.
Shakes your hand. There's green paint on your hand.
Fantastic.
Now. Okay.
I'll cherish it forever.
He then looks at you, Vox, and goes, "So, you mind if I ask where he is?"
Dramatically unveil with the arms to the head on the desk in the other corner.
You mind if I help you take a look?
Wash your hands first.
I'll wash my damn hands first. And
I don't trust you to do anything, all right?
after washing his hands and singing "Happy Birthday" twice,
Haha, COVID.
I'm gonna punt him down the stairs, I swear to God. I'm gonna build stairs to kick him downstairs.
he goes over. You can see that he has like 2 packs that are actually like not even on his side, but are actually directly connected to his tail. And he goes on each, on like the right hand side, which appears to be Tinker's tools. And he just immediately starts getting to work, like with you, to just sort of like unscrew the top, see what's going on with like the whole database, and just sort of figure out what's going on. So if you would like, we can both roll a d20. Or you can roll one twice, Ollie taking the help action.
Let's both roll.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, I need the help. This is a Tinker's check?
Now, he said he washed his hands. Isn't the rest of him green?
But his hands aren't dirty anymore.
But if he, like, touches his arm or whatever, then it'll be green again, no?
That's true.
It's an 11, and I'm working real hard to make sure he only touches the things that I want him to touch.
He rolled a 12 plus 2, 14.
Yeah, he's the 2 more than me.
He starts getting to work on taking out what is essentially like the top plate, the like scalp of the thing that you did earlier. And he's able to see that basically like whatever was going on before is not looking good right now. The moment that he takes off the hinge of the actual processor, he just goes, "Well, fuck. Who stabbed him?"
I'm gonna point at the culprit.
We were trying some things. It was being an experiment.
What I thought was if you hit something, sometimes it works better. And so we hit it, and it did not work better. It
Honest
worked
mistake.
worse.
I suppose that makes sense, but man, you did a real number on this. The processor's almost completely fried. What happened to the memory core?
From what it seemed like, something came over him, and his whatever animates this big lug started going haywire, as if something kind of taken over. An additional directive kind of lined on top of what he usually is, and I think it burned him out a little. That's why he went wild.
Well, yeah, I can see that's what happened to the processor, but I'm asking about the memory core.
Oh, that was the thing that we hit. The other thing I stabbed. That's right. I stabbed it, and he went down. And then we hit the memory core to try to fix it.
It did not work.
We had to knock him down before we could do something. We were worried he was going to hurt somebody.
Well, yeah, but there's there's the processor, there's the memory, and there's the memory core. Did you guys not look at that yet?
No, I suppose I was too preoccupied with all the extra damage to even consider it. Hold on.
I don't even know what a memory core is. I
These
just
are a lot
remember
of-
hitting things.
Robotics vocabulary.
Robotics vocabulary.
Robot.
Vox, if I'm right about this one, you owe me a meal ticket. And
Oh, you
he
something.
heads out into the cart. You hear like the scraping of a lot of metal, and Ollie just says, "Oh, hey, Luce." As Luce, you walk up the stairs, as you see Ollie just sort of like completely fucking with like what appears to be like a gigantic like barrel made out of like wrought iron and steel. That also appears to be like the torso of Surv.
There's just a 1,000-yard stare, and he's holding cookies in his hand, like he didn't even register that Ollie was there, and then just nods, and then just turns to the kitchen.
Luce, you alright?
Those are good. Are you sharing?
You sad about cookies?
Come sit down, boss. Come
yeah,
sit
no.
down.
Cookies. He'll start handing out cookies and then just kind of sit down.
Ollie very quickly comes back in and is holding what appears to be just like a large crystal sphere that I think, Vox, you would recognize as basically like a memory stone that is normally like much smaller to hold like singular moments. This one appears to be about the size of a bowling ball. It is cracked and a little bit scratched in like a couple small places, but is like largely intact.
That was in his torso?
That was in his torso, yes.
What? Ollie, I'm gonna be the bigger person to bring up the fact that you were like, do you not check the memory core yet? But we didn't have the torso before we could look at it, and you had it. You should have just brought it back to the station, is all I'm gonna say. Anyway, now let me look at that.
What do you think I just did? It was out in the cart. I was bringing it to you. This is what I'm trying to be supportive. We've had this talk before. This is the kind of thing that I'm trying to do to be a good friend to you.
Put both palms on his big upper shoulders, look up at him, be like, you're a very good friend, I appreciate you. Get now to hand over the goddamn ball.
That is all yours, but you're going to need to wash your hands first as you lift off your hands from his shoulders, and they're covered in green paint once again.
Spiral staircase. I'm building a spiral staircase. And I'll go over and go wash my hands twice.
I got a question. So would it have been possible, since this memory core was in Surv's chest, did Pastiche ram up the staff when they stabbed? Did they damage that as well?
I mean, that might be what the crack is from.
It is actually.
Yeah.
I rolled
Okay.
that when everything was going down. I rolled a luck check.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
did
God.
crack it a little bit, but you didn't damage it so severely that like it completely destroyed this.
Okay. I just wanted to, just figured above table I should ask this because it's like, oh crap, man, I really fucked up the Surv guy. I'm sorry.
Pastiche has murdered my mentor 3 times.
Done a lot of damage to your mentor. Woo. I needed the reassurance myself.
Of course.
Once I get the memory core over on the table, I feel like I need to stop and just go in and check on Luce, because I feel like Luce has been staring at the same corner of the wall since he got back. Go over to him, like, Luce, what happened? You all right?
He's just like slowly eating a cookie.
Poker game go bad?
Obviously, none of it is really getting in his mouth.
These are quite good. Is that sea salt?
I'm gonna get you a handkerchief. Hold on.
Is that sea salt on the top?
Yeah.
What's in the middle?
She didn't say.
Well, did you ask her for the recipe?
No.
Well, you should go back and get that.
You look like someone died.
He'll start crying. Just like full on just tears. And just like the.
What did you do? Liv.
Nothing. I asked. I
The
made
ugly
a
face
comment.
that kids do, he is making that face, but like with no noise. Just.
All right, hold on, leave him be, hold on. I'm gonna get him some water, put it in front of him. Tell us what happened, We need to know, there's a lot going on.
Did he tell us he was going to a game?
Yes.
And he'll take the napkin and clear his throat, and he'll wipe the tears a bit and go, I lost.
The game?
High stakes game.
And then he'll start crying again.
Hey.
We're not helpful at all. We're not consulted.
Hey, it's all right. You always should be dealt a new hand.
Luce, you have to know I'm a sympathetic crier, and I'm not okay either now.
And then he'll like hold out his arms to Ollie and and then just start crying together.
The two of you just start hugging, and you're covered in green paint again.
What is the pain? I don't understand. Just crying.
I don't know why I'm crying either, but I'm so sorry for you, buddy.
Pastiche leans over to Liv. I didn't know that he cared about money that much. I didn't think that he was so into monetary gains.
He might have lost like 1 million gold.
That sounds like a lot.
Then I would cry too.
And then he'll like kind of hold Ollie as he's holding Ollie. He's like, my faith, I don't know. Granny Molt, money, the cookies are really good. I don't think
They're really damn good, buddy. Okay. Vox, as this Renaissance painting of sorrow and cookies is going on, you are holding the memory core of your friend Surv.
I'm gonna come back to this, and I'm just gonna go deal with. I have to go situate that, I guess.
Yeah, so you have it. It is a little bit cracked. It's a little bit damaged, but it seems to be salvageable.
I want to assess the damage, and probably anything that is not critical damage, anything that would be easily mendable, that I could just kind of mend back together to kind of create, just to begin to reseal slowly, like putting porcelain back together, just piece by piece, going in and adding it and just kind of putting in the layers. But I want to look it over and see if there's any severe internal or external damage that I'll need, like tools, more advanced tools to repair. Because I don't think I can rebuild a machine in my workshop over here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would end up being investigation or arcana, your choice.
Oh, what's better? Let's find out. Let's do arcana.
Also, at this point, because Jossa has told Pastiche to go with Vox, anything that Vox is doing, the first sound you hear from Pastiche is just a crunch of a cookie as they are now standing right behind you, just watching.
Vox is oddly unfazed after dealing with there's enough background noise between the crying Furbolg and Dragonborn back there. I think Vox kind of takes note of it and is just,
do you want help?
I'll let you know. Hold on.
Are Ollie and Luce just still crying though?
They are definitely crying. They're making a lot of noise, Liv, and I don't think you've ever dealt with someone dealing with this much emotion before that was not directed at you, and I think you're a little bit uncomfortable.
So, if I may interrupt, how much did you lose?
I think at that point, the crying helped. Crying helps. Crying helped. helped.
PSA.
Crying helps.
For the audience, Took stared deep into our souls while he said that.
That is fucking accurate.
And
Get that on a t-shirt.
Oh my god, perfect.
Crying helps, damn it.
Sponsored by Stories Told Again.
he filled his TM trademark. He'll like slowly start, stopping. And then I think it's set in his brain, like in his mind at that point, that Liv does not understand completely why he's crying. And he goes, I'm sorry. It was a lot of money, but that's not why. A dear friend of mine passed on to the next life. And
During the game.
actually, yes. But they were, very much so put to rest, soul-wise, very well. So it's sad for me. They're the third death that I had experienced with since starting to be a healer, and it never gets easy. But this one hits harder than I thought it would. And also, there's a confusing thing with the God I worship. So it's just a lot of emotions. You can stop crying now, Ollie. He just kind of like wipes Ollie's face.
The moment you say you can stop crying now, Ollie just goes, okay. And then just looks stone-faced as possible, and then immediately starts sobbing again, and just sort of like runs out of the room.
I think that...
Wasn't he supposed to help us?
Yeah.
I'll be okay, just wait a minute.
I promise he's a worthwhile informant sometimes. Just apparently not tonight. But
I'm a good friend to have.
You are a great friend.
He is a good friend to have.
Yeah, great. But
He seems wonderful.
But the last thing.
Do you have a god you pray to? What do they say about life passing on? Because some people from a certain religion say that everything eventually returns to the ocean, and they are set free there.
Well, no offense, that sounds horrifying when you include the ocean, but that's another topic for another day. But when I was Zephyr, the one who I thought that I was worshipping, the words...
Thought that you were worshipping? Are you not currently participating in worshipping Zephyr?
If I'm going to be really honest with you, I have no idea. It's just a lot happened in the last hour, but the answer to that question, I'm going to say yes for now. And then maybe tomorrow it might, be a different answer. But to answer your last question, it said that the souls of people who die that worship Zephyr goes up to the clouds to be in the cycle of night and day, and their memory will always be on the wind. Very beautiful. And then the other one, from what I know, everything is connected by a chain link and will be guided safely to a great afterlife. And that's as far as I am aware. But now I'm very scared of what god you've heard of that involves the ocean. Why?
You wouldn't like him. I barely think the people who worship him like him.
Okay, I'm going to now change the subject and give you a cookie. Reaches to his bag and pulls out this salted caramel cookie.
Mark that under ominous shit Liv has said recently.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Moving on from that.
Okay.
Vox, what did you roll for investigation or arcana?
21.
21, excellent. You know that this thing is primarily just interconnection of like certain events placed in certain points in everything. You know that there is not anything in here that was damaged so far beyond repair that it would be impossible to retrieve those memories. They just might be a little bit out of order now, if you were to do something with it. You also know that this would basically just be like a pretty basic mending cantrip, could actually fix it and cause it to be readable again.
That's what I'll do. Slow, methodical, mending over each piece, make sure everything folds and connects right. Incredibly boring to watch. Listening to Pastiche crunch behind me.
Watching intently.
Trying to listen into Luce's explanation and just trying to put stuff together. As soon as it's situated, I'm gonna see, is there a access port or something that I could connect from Surv's head to the memory core?
You know that there is at least some form of retrieval that the processor in the head would need to get to something in the heart, which is basically where this thing was. You know that it's basically just sort of like a small glass ocular like camera device that, like, if you were to place it onto it and activate certain specific things in it, you'd be able to look and listen to certain events. And I think you could do so. Actually, I'm going to roll a luck check. Yeah, you'd definitely be able to do it even with the head in the state that it is now.
Okay.
So you're able to find that relatively easily. And from there, everything seems to be pretty much in place. Can you also make me a perception or arcana check?
I'll do another arcana.
Just one last one. All right, cool.
Ooh, that's a natural 17 plus 5.
Oh, hell yeah, perfect.
22.
All right, awesome. With a 22, I get to tell you exactly what I want to tell you.
Thrilling.
These cores, you're pretty sure are supposed to be completely clear, other than small veins of memories in between that are supposed to just basically like represent individual points in a person's life. With every time that they go back to one of these events, the lines and the veins get thicker and thicker and thicker over time, to the point where it almost appears like quartz with white veins inside. There's a single point on it that is a microcosm of like a pinprick, purple in color instead of the normal white.
Go in, connect that out, and then I want to see if I can just play, if I can get it to like project somehow, like project it up onto a wall, or like project something holographic. Alternatively, if it's easier, then I'm just gonna project audio out.
Actually, I like the visual aspect. We can say that like this is the first time that you've done something that causes like that weird purple light to turn off, and suddenly Surv's head is like a movie screen projector. Ooh. Onto the wall of the workshop. The speaker appears to be like a little bit busted still, that would be projecting this, but it's able to sound like at least a little bit broken and busted, almost like a very, very old recorder.
Can I burn my last magical tinkering to create the audio effect to see if I can enhance it, just so it comes out as clear as possible?
Yeah, I think that you look and it appears that like one of the wires is just like loose, and you're able to sort of like connect it a little bit, and suddenly it's coming out at least a little bit clearer, to the point where like you can understand what's going on. As you go over that purple spot, you are looking at like different events. At one point you cross over like a small piece that appears to be much thicker than the other, and it's just like this really, really beautiful sunrise that Surv saw over like a long period of time. It was just like, oh, this is a really, really good one. I want to like remember that again and again. You get down to like that purple point and you realize you're no longer in Hava in that section of his brain. This is before Surv ever came to see you. Then you go a little bit farther back and suddenly it's completely blank until you realize this is possibly Surv's first memory. You see her, Box. You see the same smile that you grew up with your entire life. You see the ears that look like yours. You hear her say, all right, Surveyor Vito, someday I'm going to need you to relay this message. Vox, Ayana has a message for you. She wants you to use my light on your meal tickets. She never forgot you, and I love you. These messages will help. As she reaches over to what appears to be an off switch and turns off Surv.
Can I calculate the time frame of how long ago this was?
From everything that you know from the time that you spent with Surv, this was probably about a month before Surv arrived to be in Hava with you, in about a year and a half to 2 years after you lost contact with her.
Okay. Vox's eyes go wide. Use the meal ticket. Kind of slumps slightly into their chair. Alright. Who else got a meal ticket? Is it just me and Luce? Or does anyone else, everyone have a ticket?
I don't believe I have a ticket.
I have nothing.
Now, the term that I got used wasn't ticket, it was meal ticket. And you remember the thing that you've gotten in every single letter that you have sent her since you were a little kid. And in that moment, I think it clicks to you. She found a way to reach out to you like you have to her after all this time.
The letters I've been burning?
Uh-huh.
Fuck!
Shit.
Stories Told Again is a podcast game mastered and produced by Austin Bakke and performed by Tiffany Veprinski as Liv, Took I Guess as Luce, Jeff Barry as Pastiche, and Rayne Eldridge as Vox. Editing by Rayne Eldridge and Jess the Cleaver. Scoring and mastering by Tiffany Veprinski. All art for the campaign is created by Beelzebub Harbinger. A link to their work can be found in the episode description. Website and social media by Chelsea Louis. If you like what we do, consider being a part of the story by joining our Discord or following us wherever we post. Links can be found in the episode description. Special thanks to Patrick Perini, Emily Graymore, Sarah Roberts, Emily Gaiman, Chip Suss, Lex Demetra, Kimchi Simmons, Kieran Wright, Kat Dwyer, Robert Reeve, and Camille Morose. Rest in peace. Thanks for listening, and welcome to the story.